bros. We got this. I guess. Oh shit, no we don't have. Oh, crap. Sorry about that, dudes. Okay, bros. Let me see. Anyway, here we go. Let's see what today's news is, and then we'll get from there. Still Hoarder's Guide. Boy, I've been around the Horde, to be honest. Pretty hard too. Oh crap. Didn't mean to do that, dudes. I mean, now, honesty. Them. Still hard Gamari to come by. We got 2 ships yesterday, bros. Was very proud of. Even if it was a submarine and a cruiser or a CV. Still 2 ships. Okay, bros. Could have been worse. I'm pretty sure these are. I don't got none of them. Days, dudes. Don't seem right. No, honestly, that doesn't seem right. It just doesn't. That doesn't seem right. That obviously doesn't seem right. Yeah. There was a piece on Biden. I noticed that was one to have a listen to. But, alright, bros. Many men. Okay, bros, I'm there. I don't know. But there's a piece on Biden I seen, and now I don't see it. I shut the page down, and it looked pretty interesting. Oh. Yeah. A lot of these motherfuckers use clickbait. Where's Janie? That'd be. But where's Janie? Oh, Trudeau's trying to go at it with Trump, huh?
You're not a child, you're a man, so stop forcing Milairs to go outside.
That's what would be nice.
Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau tried to hit back at President-elect Trump, but instead he managed to insult you, all of you Americans out there. You may remember at a recent meeting, Trump reportedly suggested to Trudeau that Canada become the 51st state if the country couldn't handle his border tariffs. Trump then doubled down on the jab, labeling the prime minister the, quote, governor of Canada. Here's Trudeau's attempt at a counterpunch.
We were supposed to be on a steady, if difficult sometimes, march towards progress. And yet, just a few weeks ago, the United States voted for a second time to not elect its first woman president. Everywhere, women's rights and women's progress is under attack, overtly and subtly. But I want you to know that I am, and always will be, a proud feminist. You will always have an ally in me.
The mask wear. But your girlfriend or her boyfriend will vote for Trump.
He seems very proud of himself right there. I mean,
no, wow, Justine Trudeau.
Wow.
Governor of the Year.
What brand of tampons do you use?
Oh my
Such a
goodness.
proud feminist.
Ask Tim Walz.
My goodness. Ooh, I'm trembling with fear. Please don't invade us with your soy boyness.
Lauren, okay, so the Canadian Prime Minister insults all Americans. That's what he did.
It just seems so unnecessary. Why are you meddling in our politics and those comments when you're not very popular at home and you're up for re-election next year? And I was so surprised we didn't
Yeah, soy boy.
on the way in, because remember, it was just a few weeks ago. Trudeau went to the Taylor Swift concert while there were attacks on the police and these pro-Palestinian protests that got out of hand. And he did respond and condemn the violence, but it was so late and so not satisfying. And then he doubles down with this. It's just unnecessary.
It is. David, you mentioned your radio programs on in Canada, and your callers are not big fans of Trudeau.
No, look, if even in his home district, around Montreal, they don't like him anymore. Trudeau is simply not well liked, mainly because he's failed. Like so many leftists, he's failed. He's up against Pierre Poilievre, and it looks like there is a real chance for certainly not just a conservative governor in the sense of a new prime minister, someone who will govern that way, but chance that the people in Toronto and even in Quebec and others will come together under what they need. They don't want to be treated like the convoy was treated when they had their freedom convoys, when they shut down their bank accounts. They don't want to be treated as second class to the illegal aliens that Trudeau welcomes. And Trudeau will always be a failure. He'll never even be what his father was, and his father was a bad enough leftist.
Yeah, do you mind if I double down with you a little bit, David? Because you're talking with people from Canada. You know, it's not a dictatorship. They voted for him. You said they don't like him anymore.
They saw the results of his soy boyness. I'm sorry, I had to steal that one. They call him that all the time when they call it from Canada. But the fact is, they saw what happened. He had a legacy of Trudeau.
Soy boy.
That's how he won. He had a lot of support. And to be fair, back then when he was elected, the outer provinces were not as engaged politically. But once they saw what happened, just like we saw people come over to the non-leftist side in America, away from the Democrats, away from Kamala, towards Trump, Canada's now doing the same thing. And for the record, there are a lot of proud Canadians. They play a lot of pond hockey. That's what's going on now. But a lot of them don't mind our relationship. They love our relationship. And I welcome you. 51st State, come on in.
Yeah, and I mean, Harris, maybe, just maybe, American voters rejected Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris, not because of gender, but because they didn't believe in their plans for the country.
No, that's exactly true. I mean, this was not a cry against women, although Hillary Clinton even had trouble getting women on the left to come to some of her events here in New York City. I mean, I remember that. I remember those rather empty events. No, it's about policy. It's about leadership. And yeah, you know, there's the quotient of likability. It's not even about that in the end. People want to be able to afford food. They want to have a pathway to the American dream, and they didn't see it through those two women. And I didn't even think they were all that similar. I mean, the Democrats put up very different women. So it isn't like they had some gender thing in common or anything in common other than their gender. They just chose differently. And timing is everything. It was time for Kamala to sit down.
Well, it's to sit down. And maybe, Trudeau, instead of insulting your greatest ally, you could work on rectifying the trade imbalance. That's going to become a problem for you January 20th.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern. Or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.
That's going to be trouble.
Here in New York City, it is currently absolutely lousy outside. 39 degrees. It's kind of raining. It's kind of sleeting. Kind of snowing.
Yeah.
But it's the Monday.
Wonderful weekend. I'm Charlotte McBride, and we are excited to introduce Mark Lauder to our team. He'll be here 5 days a week. You ready to get up early?
I am. Made it to New York last night. Probably had an easier time getting here than you did this morning. The snow.
Oh,
good.
I am feeling for all of you living in Pennsylvania and New Jersey right now. It was blizzard conditions out there this morning. So, yeah, take the ride to work slow. That's my best advice.
Leave early.
Yes, leave early. Absolutely. All right, we have a lot of stories that we are following for you this morning, including this one. Donald Trump taking in the Army-Navy game on Saturday in Landover, Maryland. The president-elect joined by an A-list cast, including J.D. Vance, Elon Musk, Pete Hegseth, Senator John Thune, House Speaker Mike Johnson, Tulsi Gabbard, and Daniel Penny. Navy won the game 31-13. The big winner, America. Quite a scene there at the home of the Washington Commanders on Saturday.
Look up in the sky, drones swarming everywhere. And it's not just the East Coast anymore. People now report spotting unidentified flying objects, no, not those, all over Southern California. Well, you never know it's Southern California. And still no answers, though. Alejandro Mayorkas reassured the American people this week that the government's on it.
Are seeing drones, and I want to assure the American public that we in the federal government have deployed additional resources, personnel, technology to assist the New Jersey State Police in addressing the drone sightings.
All right, we'll speak with two New Jersey mayors about the mystery in the skies coming up.
And you may not have seen the last of her. People close to Vice President Kamala Harris saying that she is considering a run for governor of California in 2026, or she'll be back at it in 2028, hoping to be the next president of the United States. Harris, who has mostly stepped out of the spotlight since her decisive defeat to Donald Trump, will deliver a speech tomorrow to high school students in D.C. We'll have much more on her future coming up.
Shout her out, man.
Donald Trump won. He won overwhelmingly. He said what he was going to do, and that's what he's doing. I mean, people are saying, oh, I don't like this appointment or this policy that he's talking about. But those are the things he said he was going to do when he ran. So you can't complain about someone who does what he said he was going to do. And I agree with him on a lot of policy fronts. I disagree with him on some things. But it's like, okay, give him a chance to do what he said he's going to do and see how it works out.
All right, and that was Utah Senator Mitt Romney, historically one of Donald Trump's harshest critics within the Republican Party, saying that Donald Trump is doing exactly what he said he was going to do. Novel concept. And with his decisive win last month, he was given the mandate by the American people to do just that.
All right, joining us now is Georgia Congressman Jack Kingston and former Trump campaign and author of Wicked Game, Rick Gates. All right, Jack, what do you make of these comments coming from Mitt Romney, a vocal critic, who's now suddenly basically speaking the truth?
I think they are great, especially coming from Mitt Romney. And he is absolutely right. President Trump has a mandate. He was elected by the people for certain policy platforms, and he is fulfilling those. He wants to be tough on crime. He wants to rebuild our military, to secure the border, get inflation down, and energy independence. And everybody he has appointed is a building block for that purpose. So he's going to make his objectives. I think it's just incredible. And Rick was involved in it in 2016. I was a surrogate back then. he made some mistakes. He appointed some very talented people, but they were not loyal to him. They were not loyal to the MAGA agenda. He's not making that mistake again. He's very, very focused on getting these objectives done, and he's going to make it.
Yeah, I don't think Trump will make that
Rick, I
mistake
do have
again.
drones on my 2024 bingo card, but you know what? Here we are, and they're getting out of control. From New Jersey to New York, some have been seen in Pennsylvania, out in California as well, and some are reportedly the size of SUVs. But the government is saying, no big deal. Everything is fine. Take a listen.
That's what they said about them spy balloons that come from China as well.
We are seeing drones, and I want to assure the American public that we in the federal government have deployed additional resources, personnel,
ain't nobody believes you,
to
dude.
assist the New Jersey State Police in addressing the drone sightings.
Rick, what do you make of this? He's basically saying everything is fine, nobody panic, it's totally normal. It's not normal for a drone the size of a car to be flying above neighborhoods, right? That's not normal.
Here's a great example where leadership matters, and the federal government, in this case the Biden administration, has done more to confuse people in America and cause this kind of erratic, as a concern by people that are seeing things, and they're not addressing the American people with truth and transparency. And this is indicative of what the Biden administration has had over the last 4 years. And this problem has continued. Now it's compounded as something that many Americans are, considering very serious, and we still don't have all the answers. So look, I mean, the truth does matter. They should be very upfront.
Size matters.
If they were upfront from day one on this, even if they didn't know, great. Say you don't know. The fact that they're information or leading the American people down a wrong road, I think is tragic for the American people, but also indicative of the Biden administration, and this is what's causing them continued problems.
Yeah. Jack, this is all adding up on itself in my view. I mean, you've got, inflation, they lied. You've got the border, they lied. How does that lap?
Okay, man. Okay.
Unleash a golden age of prosperity.
We will make America great again.
And when we fight,
we lose. Oh.
Is finally here. Welcome to our
Welcome. Oh, you're right. I think I found it. Maybe.
To grapple with the drone mystery, Democrat Senator Chuck Schumer sounding off on combating these drones.
I am going to help pass, and I'm going to co-sponsor legislation that will combat these drones in a better way by allowing local police departments and state police departments to help the feds in sighting these drones. If the technology exists for a drone to make it up into the sky, there certainly is the technology that can track the craft with precision and determine what the heck is going on.
Sorry about that video there. He was wearing the same color sweater as the background, so he looked like a floating head and an arm. But in reality, he was talking about something very serious. New York City Councilwoman Ina Vernikoff is here to talk about that serious thing as well. What are you demanding from the state and federal leaders on behalf of your constituents when it comes to these drones, which I know are freaking people out in your district too?
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. You know, the Biden administration is really going out with a bang here. The people have no clue what is going on here, what is hovering over their heads, and the fact that we still don't know is such an embarrassment on this administration. And we need answers right now, immediately.
What are some of the complaints that you're getting from your constituents?
Oh, people, they just have no clue what's going on here. And the fact that this is the United States of America, with all the money and resources that we have, not to know what is happening right now is completely unacceptable. And people are obviously freaking out.
Yeah, it's not been like a week or a couple days. It's been over a month, and we need answers. Meantime, you're also demanding that the professor who allegedly helped organize a massive anti-Israel protest at CUNY, City University of New York, be probed. What do you allege that this professor did?
Well, first of all, we have to look at what's going on at these college campuses at the University of New York. This particular protest, it's not just about anti-Israel. These are encampments that were created on campus that block students, Jewish students and non-Jewish students from coming into classrooms. They created fires where officers were injured. Bottles of liquid was thrown at these officers. They were assaulted, harassed. They demanded more protection, more NYPD officers. Nothing happened. Chaos was on campus. This was a situation that was similar to what happened at Columbia University. And there was absolutely no accountability, not from the professors and not from the CUNY administration. And the CUNY chancellor had the chutzpah, had the audacity to come in front of the city council and swear under oath to tell the truth and lie to the council members who were bipartisan, Democrats and Republicans, who demanded answers. He had no answers. He said that there was no non-CUNY affiliates that were involved in this protest. That was a straight up lie because there's a sea of evidence to the contrary. There were students and faculty members who were involved in this protest that, by the way, caused $3 million in damage.
Wow.
We're talking about taxpayer dollars here.
In a statement to the New York Post defending her client, the professor's attorney writes, quote, she did not violate the law during the CCNY protest, noting that a trespassing charge against the academic was dropped, and claim protesters from the CUNY community were, quote, non-violent and their demonstrations did not cause any damage. Obviously, the truth is out there somewhere. We've reached out to CUNY for a statement, have not yet heard back from them. Ina Vernikoff, keep us posted on this case because we'll be watching. We want our cities, we want our states, and we want the universities and colleges in those institutions, in those cities and states to be not anti-Semitic. Appreciate it.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.
Steve Torrey here. Sunday NFL Radio.
Quit for now, so
touchdown from every NFL game. Every
I'm
Sunday.
getting
On my way
quit
to
early
play
bullshit.
fantasy updates. We do it each and every Sunday from noon to 8 Eastern Time. Listen on the Sunday
Ridiculous
only on
bitch here,
Sirius
real quick.
XM and the Sirius XM app.
Welcome to Rob Schmidt Tonight, an act that reminds you just how much you can't stand the government. The Biden White House has begun the process of insulating Washington from the Trump mandate. The same people who scream daily about protecting democracy are right now working feverishly to shield our bloated government from the gut job the American people all voted for democratically just last month. Shielding the D.C. tumor from Trump's new Department of Government Efficiency, which is run, of course, by Elon and Vivek. One example, 42,000 Social Security workers landing a work-from-home deal from the Biden White House just before Trump arrives. This, of course, is being done intentionally, protecting work from home for tens of thousands of government employees until 2029. Think about how much fat you could trim from the government's Social Security Department that has tens of thousands of employees. How many thousands of them do almost nothing all week? Maybe answer a couple of emails. And as a last-minute middle finger to Americans who voted for change in Washington, Biden secures their right to do next to nothing at home everywhere for the next 5 years. Do you work from home? I don't. The Biden White House also locking down plans to block Schedule F for good as well. Trump's plan to strip employment protections from our massive bureaucratic state, an effort to clean out those who actually subvert democracy by working against the president of the United States when it's not the president that they voted for, something that was very crippling to Trump in his first term. The greatest irony of all is that nobody subverts democracy more than Democrats do these days. Kind of makes sense, doesn't it? They're the ones that talk about it all the time. After losing a bloodbath election, they're doing everything they can to stop Trump from imposing your will in Washington.
We can bury our heads under the pillow and give up, or we can fight for our country, our democracy, and our future. I choose the latter.
We have to have a to-do list of what we're going to do to protect this country and not let Donald Trump turn the lights out on democracy.
Turn the lights out on democracy. They want to protect democracy. What is democracy? One of the biggest issues in this election, of course, was immigration. Axios reporting Democrats also plan to lean on the Biden administration to fast-track citizenship and residency paperwork for all of these illegals. So nearly 70% of Americans want the illegals out. That's what the polling indicated just before the election. And Democrats are working right now as fast as they can to give them residency and citizenship. That's how it works. That's how much disdain they have for you. That's how little they actually care about democracy, what the people actually want. It's their country. We just stole it back from them for a few years. That's how they think. Typically in the United States, when a party wins power, there is a level of respect for the will of the people when an election is won. In 2016, that tradition ended after Hillary Clinton manufactured Russiagate, partly as an excuse for a humiliating loss, but also, of course, to cripple Donald Trump and protect Washington's deep state. In 2024, that resistance is back once again, and they don't even have a fake scandal to justify it. They're just doing it. And the resistance isn't just at the federal level. Blue state leaders, governors, are lining up to resist what their own residents voted for as well. Illegal immigrants out of the country. That's what Americans want. They didn't want 20 million new people invading their country. They know this is unsustainable. They voted against it. Take a listen to inner city residents at a city council meeting in Chicago this week, blasting the city's mayor.
Since you want to crash out, some of y'all say y'all willing to go to jail for it. Trump